This is the review for the MarkCharles Misilli electric tea kettle. I'm going to go ahead and set it up now so we can see how long it takes to actually boil water. Let me plug this in. And alright, we've got everything here. We've got the thermometer so we can see on the GoPro, so we can actually see how long it takes to reach boiling point with the clock, what temperature is, and we can actually see just exactly how it's going. So I'm going to go ahead, turn it on, start the timer, and we'll see. Now the thermometer is kind of free floating in the water. It's not touching the bottom, it's not touching the sides, so we should be good. There we go. It's pretty good. I really didn't think I had a use for it, but once I got it, then I saw, oh yeah, this is actually really useful. It's nice because I can keep it in my room here, my computer in my study, and not have to go downstairs and turn the oven on or the stove top on, boil some water, come back up, and remember, oh, I have boiling water, go back down, pick it up, put it in there. So I can do it all here from here, and it boils water really quick. For me, it's about 2 minutes at about 1 liter. We're just over 1 liter line here. So, and I usually have mine a little under that, so it takes about 2 minutes and 10 seconds or so for me to have water at the temperature that I like. I don't want it to be boiling really hot because I gotta wait for it to cool down, so I let it go for about just over 2 minutes and it works perfect for me. It's good temperature for me. It's perfect because it's for me, one person, it's enough tea for me. I think it'd be enough tea for 2 people, 3 people. Anything more than that, it might be a little too much. It does come with a filter that you can put inside it, which I'll show in the video, which I'll show in the video in a few moments. You can brew your own tea inside the kettle, and it'll filter out any of the stuff that you have floating. For me, I've only been using it for about 2-3 weeks, and I've been using just plain water on the inside and pouring it into my cup with my tea bag. Now, one big problem with it is it's really hard to clean. In the next part of the video, you'll see this doesn't come apart in any way, so it's difficult to get inside of the kettle and clean it out. Where you have to worry about mold, bacteria, anything else growing inside of that, so it has to be kept clean. And for me, it's kind of okay because I keep it upstairs in my room, and I like to have tea at night, 10:30 p.m. So in the morning, I have to remember to bring this downstairs. So when I get home from work, I can clean it out. Because if I come back up the next day, I'm afraid you could probably go a couple days without it. Since you're boiling water, you can probably be okay. Got stuff growing in there, but I just don't want to take the chance. So you can see we're already at 116 degrees at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And that's probably where I like my water. I don't want to have to wait for it to cool down. I don't like it really hot where it scalds my mouth. It is really sturdy construction. It does feel really good. The base is nice and firm. The kettle sits on top of that base good. It does have this on-off switch, which will only turn on once it's on the base unit. So you're not going to pour your tea or pour your water, whatever it is, put it back on, and it will not turn back on unless you manually flip that switch on the bottom, which is really handy, which is really good. You can start to hear it now. It's starting to boil at about just 2 minutes and 50 seconds. It works well for me. I'm not sure if anyone else would like it. We live in the States, so I don't know if an English person would like it because you can have tea really quick. 3 minutes, my water is starting to parboil. It's starting to go. It's nice and hot. It works well. I did run into a problem the first day I used it. I heard that it takes about 8 minutes to boil water, so I came back upstairs, got in the game real quick, went back down. Within 10 minutes time, it boiled away just under 1 liter of water. It boiled away completely. My kitchen counters were full of steam. The steam was all over. It was hot downstairs. The pot was completely empty. There was a little bit of a vapor, like some moisture on top of the kettle, but the kettle did not explode. And I really thought that's what would happen if when you put an empty teapot. So we're at 155 right now. If you put an empty coffee pot, like on one of those base stations, like in a diner, the kettle will explode. I was afraid this would explode. It didn't. I don't know if that's because of good construction, or if it's because it just didn't have enough time to explode without that water inside of it. So we're at 160. The water's not boiling just yet. It's beeping because I have it set at chicken. I don't know how to turn off chicken. We can set it to another meat, but that's just how it is. It's a great little device. I think you could travel with it because it is pretty small, and I like it. It's not bad. I don't remember how much it was. I did receive it as a gift, so of course they didn't tell me, but I can't imagine it being worth much because, well, it's just a tea kettle. Although if it was, wow, great gift. So you can see this water is not rumbling yet, but it's still going pretty well. We're at 177 at just 4 minutes and 40 seconds. This is probably where a lot of people would want their tea. You're not boiling, but you do have the water starting to bubble. It's past just starting to bubble. It's almost at that rumbling feature. And you can see some condensation starting to collect on the side of the pot here as well. This is where I'm talking about. After you're done, you're going to turn this off, and that's where that moisture is going to stay in that pot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this off. We're at 186 at 5 minutes and 12 seconds. You can see also, you can see this light is here. This will show you that it is on. It is working, and it's kind of just cool. There is two colors. The person who bought it for me said there was two colors. They also got blue. When it comes to blue lights, I think it was a purple with maybe a purplish or reddish light. I'm not sure. You'll have to actually check yourself. I'm going to turn the pot off and this off. So we're at 195 at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And now the water is starting to really rumble, starting to really boil. If I were to leave this on for a couple more minutes, it would be, oh yeah, this is going pretty well. Within 6 minutes, you have tea that's super hot, ready to go. Alright, well here is the bottom. Here's the base that the pot will sit on. It's not very tall. It's about 2 inches tall with the middle part here. This is what the kettle's going to sit on. The center of the kettle will sit on this, and this is what actually gives the power to the kettle. This is the bottom. This cord does wrap around, which is pretty neat. It's a 3-foot cord, 3-prong, 3-foot cord, and it does wrap around the base of it. So in case you don't need all 3 feet, you can really hide. You can hide about 1 foot, 2 feet of it in the bottom of that unit, and it's seamless. It's flat and the flush on the bottom. This is how I had it before when I was using it. So it's nice, and it's got a cut on the side, so it sits flush. You don't have to worry about it tipping over either way. Yeah, so I wish it was a little longer. 3 feet is not that long, but it's long enough for what I need. I guess you don't want it too long because then you don't want to pull on this and, you know, kind of spill it, knock it over. But let's show the pot real close here. You can see there's some condensation, some water still inside the pot since I last used it. And that's kind of the problem, which I'll get to in just a moment. It is leveled here, 1.7 liters, 1.5, 1, and half a liter. This 1 liter is what we did in the video, and that's how high that water was. You can see how fast it boiled. Very simple. It's very, it is pretty heavy. This is the part that's going to sit on the bottom of that base unit. This black base unit sits right on that, and it fits real snug. Like I'm only holding it with one hand, and I'm not afraid of it falling over. It doesn't snap in there, but it does sit on there flush, and the base unit protects and holds it in. This again, as well as the base unit, should not get wet on the bottom here. So you have to clean it by this lever. Just push this button here on the right here. Pops this top, and you can push it open a little further. And you can see, just when I'm going to press this button, you can see this part here in the center of the screen. That's actually what relieves the top and allows it to open. You do not need to open this in order to pour it. There is enough hole here. There actually is a filter you can put in this that slides in on these 2 brackets here. It slides in, so in case you brew your tea inside of this, you won't filter any of the tea out into your cup. I don't use it because I just boil water with this and pour it into my teacup with my tea packet there. This is my main problem here. I mean, I can get my hand in here, but I have small hands, so maybe that's why. And I do hit the sides. If you have a big old hand, you can't clean this. This is really difficult to clean. This does not come off or anything. You have to stick your hand in there or get one of those like pipe cleaners to clean the sides and clean the bottom. And you can see this condensation. This is from yesterday. Last night I had 2 cups of tea, and this is kind of what's left in there. I dumped the rest of the water out, and the condensation sits in here, and this is going to breed bacteria, mold, all kinds of stuff. So it's imperative to clean your teapot, you know, but it's really difficult because it's hard to get your hand in there. I mean, my hand barely fits in just like this. You know, my hand's small. So I'm not really, it's once it's in there, it's fine, but getting my hand back out, I did end up cutting myself, lightly, not huge gashes or anything, whatever, on these two brackets here for the filter. But it's not easy to clean. That's my big problem. And I guess you could boil your vinegar in it, like you do with your coffee pots, to clean it out. But then your house kind of stinks. But yeah, big problem. This doesn't do anything. But the big problem is mold and mildew. It grows inside of this, and it's really hard to clean out. You have to get a really soapy sponge, clean it out, get that water in there. You know how to clean something. It is pretty difficult. That's the only branding on it right in the front here, the MCM. And this is your on-off switch. This is off. This is kind of goes on. It's kind of cool because it only goes on when it actually has power to it and there's water in there, when it's on the base unit. So you can't actually turn it on, put it back on the base unit, and it'll turn on. You can't do that. It's impossible. This has to be on the base unit for this in order to turn on. So you can't pour your tea, pour your water, whatever you're pouring, and put it back on. It will not turn back on unless you go here, physically turn that on, which is a very good safety point. And just another feature of it.
Water. It looks really cool. It's really small. My one big problem, like I said, is it's difficult to clean. And if you were not a germaphobe, but you just don't want to worry about mold and stuff like that, like I wouldn't want to give this to my kid or anything, without cleaning it. If you're worried about that, it's very difficult to clean. It's not out of this world. But without being able to take this top off and really get in there, it's hard. And they say don't immerse the base or the bottom of the pot, because that's where the connection is for the metal and the electronics. It does become somewhat difficult to clean it. You cannot dishwasher. This is not dishwasher safe. Don't put it in your dishwasher at all. You're going to have to just kind of hand clean it. Soapy water is good enough. And I guess you could do your vinegar, like I said, but I wouldn't. I don't want my house stinking like vinegar, and I wouldn't want to have to worry about that vinegar taste being in my water. I'm not making coffee, I'm just making water, so I don't want that taste to be in there. But definitely a really good gift, a really good idea for you if you don't want a stovetop, or you just want really quick tea, because it does take a few minutes when you're boiling water on the stovetop. Even my Keurig, the Keurig takes a couple minutes. I got to plug it in, wait for the water to boil if it's not already plugged in, and it becomes a hassle kind of. Whereas this, I can put this in my room, I can bring this down to the dining room, the living room, wherever I want, because it really is just this small pot and a little base station. So a great gift, great idea if you do like tea and you want it